Hello, welcome back to Harry Has a Cocktail, episode 18. Last episode was a little busy. I made 2 drinks, 2 margaritas. For this episode, I thought I'd kind of bring it back a little bit. I'm always talking on here about how much I like to go back to kind of the old-fashioned way of drinking, trying to find lots of classic cocktails. I just used the word old-fashioned there, and that's what I'm gonna make today, an old-fashioned. This drink has been around for a very long time. It's extremely easy to make. Once again, I am using my book, 3 Ingredient Cocktails by Robert Simonson, Old-Fashioned Whiskey Cocktail. You could write a whole book on just this drink alone. In fact, Robert Simonson, who wrote this book, wrote a book called The Old-Fashioned, the world's first classic cocktail with recipes and lore. There are multiple variations on this drink. The Old-Fashioned began its long and tangled journey through American bars as the whiskey cocktail, an early 19th century mix of whiskey, bitters, and sugar that was served in a footed wine glass and often downed as a morning drink. Can you imagine having your coffee and maybe some orange juice and an old-fashioned? The drink picked up in popularity as the century rolled on. Bartenders started adding all kinds of different things to the drink. Maraschino liqueur, absinthe, curacao, chartreuse. After all this was going on, people started to ask for an old-fashioned whiskey cocktail. So old-fashioned became the shorthand for the drink over time. The cocktail survived Prohibition, but after Prohibition was over, it was a much fruitier version of it. They added a muddled orange slice and a cherry and all kinds of other things. What I'm gonna make today is an extremely simple, elegant cocktail. You just need some really good bourbon or rye or whiskey. And as I've said before, bourbon and rye are versions of whiskey. There's kind of a scale of what whiskeys are. You know, you've got ryes, you've got bourbons, you've got whiskey, you've got scotch. So in this century now, as bartenders are sort of bringing the cocktail back, they're bringing it back in a much simpler way. Whiskey, bitters, and a sugar cube. A nice glass and some nice ice. So let me give you the information here about what's gonna go into this drink. Today I'm going to use the whiskey that I used a couple episodes back called Tin Cup. And I love it because it's got a tin cup on the top, actually. It's gonna have a couple of dashes of Angostura bitters and a sugar cube. 3 ingredients. We're gonna put it in an old-fashioned glass. I featured this glass in the last episode. This is an old-fashioned, has this awesome foxy design on it, a metallic copper on it. Awesome. Thank you, Sean. This is my anniversary gift. And it's gonna have a piece of orange zest to go ahead and use as a garnish. This is what I'm gonna do first. I'm also gonna show you something a little fancy with it. So, here's my orange. All I'm gonna do is take a vegetable peeler and run this along one side of the orange. And you know, you gotta kind of make sure the peeler is like bit into it. And you wanna get like a good wide swath, just so there's something to work with. And there it is. If I wanna fancy it up a little bit, I'll take a knife and actually shape it a little bit. I'm just basically, you know, cutting off the ends and kind of making it a little pretty. I mean, you could do all kinds of things with this if you wanted to. You could just make a nice rectangular shape here if you like. That'd be good. Or, you know, do whatever you want with it. Could make some kind of design out of it if I really wanted to. People are often quite impressed by garnishes, so it's fun to just play with them and do other things with them. Kind of like that shape I did. I'm gonna use that. Remember, with these, the whole point of these is so that the oils are expressed out of them, and boy, it smells so good. So that was how to make the twist. We're gonna do something special with this right before we serve the drink. So the first thing we're gonna do is take our sugar cube, and we're going to drop it into the glass. Simple. We're going to saturate the sugar cube with a bar spoonful of warm water. And here I've got my tin cup, and I got a little bit of warm water in here. So here I'm just gonna put a little bit of warm water in my bar spoon. That's all you need, just a little bit. And it fell off a little bit there, so I gotta be careful with it. So there's a bar spoonful of warm water, and we're gonna saturate the sugar cube with that. And we're gonna put in 2 dashes of Angostura bitters. Sometimes it's a little hard to control, but you know, I really love bitters, so if it's 3 or 4, that's okay too. Now, because you're basically using granulated sugar, you need to muddle the sugar. I do not have a muddler. Sorry about it, I just don't. I haven't been able to find one yet, and it's been just too god-awful hot to go shopping for one. So, but you need to just make do. You could use a spoon. What I'm gonna use actually is the end of my potato peeler, right? just the end of my vegetable peeler, because it's plastic. I was thinking of using the end of the bar spoon to do the muddling, but the fact is, this is metal and I don't want it to scratch the glass or break the glass. So I'm gonna use this, it's plastic. And here we go. I'm just gonna go ahead and basically muddle the sugar. The point of this is that, you know, obviously you're using granulated sugar, and you don't want it to be, you know, get little sort of ice crystals as you're drinking the drink. It should be smooth. To just alleviate this altogether and the need to muddle, I actually am gonna try my metal thing just a little bit here, just to see. Actually, that's not too bad. I am using the metal end. The problem with that is that it just doesn't, it's not quite giving me enough, what's the word? It's not covering enough area of the sugar, basically. And you could just skip this altogether. You could also just use simple syrup as well. If you're lacking a muddler or a gumption, a bar spoon of simple syrup will do the job of the sugar cube. So we now, we've just muddled the sugar. You can see there's still a little bit of grain there, but not too much. I did a pretty good job there with that. I need to go and buy a muddler soon. And the next portion of it is super simple. We're going to use 2 ounces of whiskey, bourbon or rye, whatever your preference is. They work really well in the drink either way. This is American whiskey. This is not considered bourbon, and it is not considered a rye. It's just good old-fashioned American whiskey. But I tried it the other day and it tastes great. So, 2 ounces of whiskey. 1, 2. And as you can see, I've just gone ahead and poured it directly into the old-fashioned glass that already contains the muddled sugar in the bitters. And now all we're gonna do is add ice. And here's my awesome, as you can see, I've used a couple because I had an old-fashioned the other day. These things are awesome. I forget what brand this is. I don't know if you've noticed the past couple videos, but down in the blurb underneath the video, you can actually go ahead and buy some of these products. I kind of feature them under there, and go ahead and buy them on Amazon. I'll make sure to find this and put a link down below if you're interested in buying one of these. This one's great because it's made of rubber, and so you just basically, and there it is. A gorgeous, gorgeous piece of ice. A gorgeous, gorgeous piece of ice. I almost said something else, a gorgeous piece of something else. And we're just gonna go ahead and drop this ice cube directly into the glass. It cracked the ice there a little bit. And all we're gonna do is we're gonna take our bar spoon and we're gonna put it over here against the side like this. It fits nicely against the side of the glass there. And we're just gonna go ahead and, in a clockwise manner, you're just gonna go ahead and stir it, using your fingers back and forth to stir it. And you're gonna stir this for about 30 seconds. Sorry, we got no shake for this one. Okay, now I'm gonna take my orange twist and do one of 2 things. The first thing you can do is just what we've always done here. Express yourself, express your twist. And you just twist it. You can also, if you want, do it across the rim of the glass there. And then you just drop it in. Now the other thing I'm gonna show you, and here's a shout out to my husband and to our friend Matt Kroll, who just got married. Congratulations, Matt and Aaron. Wish we could have been there, but we're actors and we had stupid jobs. And what you do with this is, we're gonna take some matches, and this is a cool thing to do. It's a cool party trick that people love. So you're basically gonna light a flame, and then you're gonna take the orange peel in the other hand, and you're going to just squeeze it in front of the flame and go like this. Isn't that awesome? Woohoo! One more time. Oh! And the oils are coming out in there, and it got like a little smoky feel to it. Drop it in, and here's your drink. This is an old-fashioned. The great thing about this drink is that it's so simple and good. Listen, you gotta like whiskey, you gotta like brown spirits, but because it has the sugar in it, it's not like doing a shot of whiskey. You know, I remember when we were young, every time my grandfather wanted to celebrate something at a party, everybody would do a shot of whiskey. And I remember when we were little, maybe they would give us like a little bit to try. And, you know, it's powerful stuff. But the bitters and the sweetness of the sugar just balance it out perfectly. The 3 ingredients of a classic cocktail are spirit, sweetener, and bitter. And this is the quintessential example of that. So I hope you enjoy it. I'll see you again here soon next time on Harry Has a Cocktail. Old fashioned. Cheers. Hello! Thanks again for watching another episode of Harry Has a Cocktail. Right over here, is my face holding a cocktail shaker. If you haven't subscribed already, please click on that and subscribe, and you'll get a little notification every time I post a new video. Also, go ahead and like the video if you liked it. If you didn't like it, there's lots of other things to watch on YouTube. Thanks again for your support, and cheers!